All right, welcome
Boom.
back to another episode of Limitless Evolution podcast. Today we are joined here with not only Taylor's best friend, light heavyweight new pro, Mr. Parker. Parker just turned pro at USA's, and we were on me and my buddy's podcast. We were just covering that show, and they were blown away by your guys' work. So we wanted to share a little bit about your prep with the audience, ask you some questions, stuff like that. Because I've known you for a while, but only known of you more closely through Taylor as me and Taylor developed our friendship. But also, I just want to hear how the entire prep went, man, because for people that don't know, people that are listening, you were once Men's Physique.
Yep.
Damn.
At
So
the exact same show too, 2 years ago.
Oh, that's right, dude. That's crazy. So how many shows did you do for Men's Physique?
3, right? About
Or
3 or 4.
five.
5? Oh yeah. Yeah,
We
5.
did the first two the first year, then we did North Americans 2022, then we did Atlanta Pro Am as a qualifier and USA's in 2023.
Yeah, so
Got
5.
it.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. When was this something that when you guys made the switch, I'm asking this to kind of both you guys, was it because you just weren't all in it for Men's Physique, you just didn't enjoy it, or was it because your body just wanted to keep growing?
It's because the judges told us to.
Yeah. I kind of used that too because it was like every Men's Physique show that I've done, every feedback was always you're too complete for Men's Physique. So I was like, okay, well, I love fucking training and I love going hard, and you know what I'm saying? So I was like, you know what, let's just make a jump for it.
For sure. That's good. So what was
Sandy told us at USA's in 2023, she was like, dude, your
Yeah.
quads are busting out of your board shorts. Like you don't have like that like super pretty symmetrical Men's Physique shape. Like your body wants to grow, and we can tell. So, like he got, I think, what, fifth or sixth. He got a first
I
call
think it's
out at
good.
USA's in 2023, and they were just like, it's probably the best you're gonna do in Men's Physique.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Well,
So
guess what, Parker? Welcome to the fucking club, you and me both.
Hey, I appreciate that.
So what was your guys' weight difference back in 2023 compared to when you turned pro last week?
it was 2 pounds. Yeah.
Oh
Really?
shit. Happy birthday.
And it's crazy.
Wow, look at that.
It's crazy too. Me and Parker were trying to figure that out because, bro, he was fucking peeled at USA's in 2023. So I don't know if it was just the distribution of his muscle ended up being a little bit different or what, but like he was. I mean, it may have been like 3 pounds. He was like 195, 196 on stage at USA's in 2023, and then he was, obviously we light heavies. We weighed in at 196. He was on stage at probably 200,
Yeah.
but it really wasn't a huge difference. I don't know. It's crazy.
How hard was it to make weight for light heavies?
It wasn't that hard. I mean,
No.
we kind of waited until last minute to kind of pull down. So we had to do like an Epsom salt bath the morning of weigh-ins and stuff. We woke up like a pound over. Also, our scales were a little heavy compared to the official scales. We left the house at like 170 or 197.8 and then or 197.6 and then weighed in on their scale at 196.0. So it was like fuck. Yeah,
Oh
but
shit.
Yeah.
yeah.
Damn, dude, that's crazy. Well, that's freaking awesome, man. So let's pull it back a little bit here for at the beginning of this prep. So how I remember, because when I saw you at Junior USA's, you were still in prep then, and then I literally, because I knew that you had competed in 2023, okay, but this entire time, because you've made such good progress since then. No bullshit. When I was on a podcast, it was you and me last week, or the last recording we did. I literally was like, "Wait, Parker's not pro already?" That's literally what I thought. I'm like, "Wait." Yeah, dude, because you guys have made such crazy progress, man. I literally thought when I saw you in South Carolina, I was like, "Oh, I wonder if he's doing Tampa for his pro debut or what he's doing here." 'Cause I
Yeah.
thought you were going for Classic at first, dude. I'm like, "What the hell?" But this is freaking awesome, man. So let's pull it back a little bit. How long was your prep duration in general? And, throughout that process, just give us a little bit, open it up, Parker. Like, how long was prep? What were the differences compared to your last prep in 2023 compared to this one? The good, the bad. Did you have to push harder? Was it easier, etc.?
Honestly, I will say I think well, I'll go back to the regional prep too because I was pretty much in prep from, over 20,
It
20
was
some weeks.
like 8 weeks leading up to the regional show because we had originally planned on doing junior USAs as like a warm up, and then he started prepping, and we were like, "There's some good potential here." Like we were hesitant on whether we were even going to do a pro qualifier this year. Like that wasn't even the original plan. It was just to see where we stood within the open division.
Yeah.
Um, and as things went on, it just progressed really well.
Yeah. So I will say, prepping for the regional show, well, before this show, obviously, but this prep was so much like easier than any prep I've ever done. Just and solely, I think that was just mentally, because mentally I was fucking there. And I think if you're mentally there and everything else checks in, and you're doing the thing, like we talked about, you're doing the things to, mold you as a man and as a person, everything else aligns with it. And I think that was like the biggest thing for me to make this prep as smooth as it was. I think it only got hard probably 1 or 2 weeks, and that was like the last push of nationals. But yeah, it was so much easier than 2023 for sure.
When it was hard, those last like 1 to 2 weeks, or for like whatever that point in time was that more so mental, physical? If it was physical, was it more so like fatigue driven, or was it you like, man, I just want this shit to be done?
Nah, it was more fatigue driven, but I had a lot of stressors on my plate too because I was moving out of an apartment and I had just bought a dog. And I'll be honest with you, I bought that dog in the first week. I wanted to give his ass back. I couldn't fucking do it, bro. He was just shitting all over the house and pissing all over the house. And just imagine you in prep, you barely can roll out of bed, and then you got to roll out of bed to, like 7 piles of shit and piss in the house. So honestly, those two things right there, that was probably the main thing that kind of like I had to really control. So other than that, no, it was good.
I killed him in the
Got it.
2023 prep though too, so it
Yes,
was
I
it
mean,
was a lot smoother.
2023 prep, I think I was eating like 1,100 calories, pushing
Yeah.
900 calories of cardio fasted on
Yeah,
what?
it was crazy, bro.
Wow,
Yeah,
that
a lot.
sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah. It was
What?
more so because we went to the qualifier though, and it was like 3 or 4 weeks out from USA's, and we thought he was going to be good, and then he ended up losing at the qualifier, and we were like, "What the fuck's going on?" And they were like, "You're just too big for men's physique." So we were like, "Okay, well, we'll fix that." So I was like, "All right, well, I guess we got to pull down and play our strength here and get as absolutely inside out peeled as we can." And we did that. Ended up, I think we might have died off a little bit of muscle with it, but like at that point, we needed that. We needed to.
yeah.
Because we lost to, no offense if he ends up watching this. Honestly, I don't even remember the dude's name, but he was a scrub.
Mm.
And I think you know how the Georgia shows are, Nick.
Oh my god,
Um,
bro, stop.
yeah, yeah. So it was like, bro, how the fuck did we just lose that? And then it was like, okay, well, you're too big. Like you're not men's physique. So it was just like it ended up being one of those things. And I was like, all right, well, we'll show them. So then I just put him on like 100 clean, like fucking 37 and a half T3, like 900 calories of cardio. He suffered for 2 or 3 weeks for sure.
Damn, dude, that's crazy. And that's shit, man. 100 clen. I can't even imagine how that was feeling
Bro,
because that's
me.
that's
Uh,
before there was SLU.
Yeah, bro. Looking back, it was like he's the only person I've ever taken that high with Clem, but it's just like it was. There's no way I would have been able to function on it. But he would, bro. He
I
would take
love,
Clean in the morning and fall back asleep on the couch during
bro.
the day. I'm like, bro, what is wrong with you?
I
If I took
love that
100
shit.
Clean, I'd probably shoot myself from fucking the anxiety.
Bro, if I go above 60 micrograms, my calves cramp up to my fucking knee
Yeah,
joints.
yeah, bro. It sucks. I can't
I
go over
love,
40.
I
This
love it.
dude's saying I love Clen. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
It ain't broke. Don't fix it. Fuck it.
That's true. Bro, that's so true, man. I'll tell you what, bro. There's a guy that I've in prep right now, and he just pulled his natty card before prep, and he's asking about all these things like, "Hey, when are we doing this? When are we doing that?" And I'm like, "Bro, you are on two things right now. Like, let's just keep riding out two things. Like, we don't
yeah.
have to do all this other crazy shit. It's just a regional, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it." But
I
Very true.
anyway, what
honestly
up?
though,
Yeah,
bro,
continue.
like
Sorry.
we only used Clean for I think a week or 10 days or something during this prep. We just used
Yeah.
SLU the whole time, and we went up to like 500 micrograms of SLU, and then we didn't need Clean until like 10 days out or something. We ended up, I think we used 20 micrograms for a couple days, and I was like, all right, let's just go to 40. And we did that. And that was more so to make weight than anything. And things got a little funky around 3, 4 weeks out. I don't know really what it was. It was crazy because I thought because all right, so we had a bridge phase like coming out of his qualifier into the prep for USA. So I basically pulled him off of everything for like 4 weeks, I think, before we started back like 6 weeks out for USA's. But I kept T3 in during that time because I was like, okay, well, he was 210 on stage for his qualifier. And obviously he had to make 198 and a quarter. So I was like, if I pull T3 out, your weight's going to skyrocket. You're never going to make light heavies at USA. So let's just leave it in. So we left it in. And I don't know if that was what made things a little bit funky or what, but like 3, 4 weeks out, I was like, hey man, get your thyroid labs done. Like let's see what T3 looks like. And it was weird. T3 was like a 2.6 or something, 2.5. So I don't know. I don't know what it was, but nothing a little orals and Arimidex couldn't fit.
Yeah, for sure, right? What were you taking liquid tea?
That's another thing. You did. Remember? You were taking it at like 2 weeks out, and I was like, hey, and you took it up until like 5 days out, actually. And then when you got to my house at 5 days out, I was like, hey, I have these tabs of Arimidex. Start taking these instead.
No, that was fuck. No, that was a the Arimidex. You're talking about Arimidex? T3
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was taking. Okay,
Yeah. I'm talking about Arimidex. Sorry.
Mm,
Scratch that.
yeah. Yeah, Arimidex, yeah, I did end up taking the liquid on that, but then we switched
I
back
think that
to
skewed things a little bit too, was the
yeah.
liquid Arimidex.
I've noticed uh, a guy that I actually just that's another story we can even get into that I just pulled out of prep for North Americans for Classic. We got labs back, dude, and I could go into whatever was looking poor, but his T3, I mean, he was on 25 micros per day. We're splitting it up throughout the day, and it was liquid, and it had to be underdosed, man, because his T3 came back under a 2. And I'm like, dude, that's
Yeah,
that's
that's crazy.
underdosed. That should not be happening.
Yeah,
And
no.
his TSH wasn't suppressed, so I've seen a lot of inconsistencies with that, with just specific research,
Yeah,
websites out there. I
yeah,
honestly think that's what happened with myself on prep as well, because I was using liquid T3 and T4 for my first show, my qualifier, and then between that show, the only thing we changed, me and Cam didn't change anything with food. We just brought cardio up a little bit more and increased my steps. But the other thing we changed, we went from to actual pharma grade T3 T4, and we went from being on stage at 234 for my regional down to 225 in 10 days.
yeah. That's
And
crazy.
the one thing we changed besides the cardio, dude, cardio is not going to pull that much down just by adding 100 cardio calories per day.
I don't know.
Okay, so that was the one thing. It was the T3 and T4. Because, dude, I honestly, man, I tell people all the time, like, if you can afford from an actual clinic, like Anavar Troches on prep, and if you can afford T3, T4, and pharma grade Aromacin or Adex, and go for it. I'd say you got just do it. It's worth it.
For sure. I agree with you. I think pharma grade ancillaries make a huge difference all around across the board.
Massive difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what going into this prep too, man, with how you guys did things for men's physique back in 2023, with drug protocol, and I'm sure, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys probably kept drug protocol pretty moderate in 2023 because you're already big as fuck for men's physique. Did you guys do the same approach for light heavies?
Honestly, bro, we use less drugs for this than we did in men's physique.
Really? Go into that.
Yep. Parker, you want to? You want me to?
You got the whole drug part.
All right. So 2023, Parker's always been like obviously just open to he's been like someone I can trust. People you trust, you can push a little harder and you're okay with it. Also, we don't skimp on he doesn't skimp on vitamins. He doesn't skimp on like he doesn't go eat a shit ton like off plan. Like his health's good. 2023, I would say the one thing that probably changed a little bit was maybe not as high of test in 2023. Or no, I'm sorry, vice versa. I went a little higher with the test in 2023. His prep, I pushed his mast up higher. So, like it was 150, no, 200 megs of test every other day, test P, like towards the end, I'm talking like the last 6 weeks of this prep, 200 tests every other day. Mast, I think we got to like 200, 250 every other day or something like that. Orals, like I slammed him with orals in 2023 a
Yeah.
lot. I'm not gonna say obviously on here, but it was a lot. It was more than I like to usually run. And
Can
this
I?
prep,
Sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Can I ask you a question about that? And not about doses, but it's like it was more than you usually like to run. Hindsight bias is always 2020. Okay,
yeah,
and
yeah.
we all know that as coaches. Is that looking back at it? Is that because was that more so from a lack of knowledge, or was that because you know what? I think it can bring more out of him, so I'm going to risk it.
I think it was a lack of knowledge for not necessarily a lack of knowledge, a lack of experience and situational awareness Whereas this prep, I knew that if I were to push him on drugs like I did, we wouldn't make weight cap because Parker responds stupid. Like in his regional prep this year, we did, bro, 500 tests, 500 mass, 40 mics of Clen, and then Arimidex, Novadex, and 50 Winstraw for 2 weeks. That was it. And just those, like, his weight didn't move for like 6.5 weeks, but he just kept getting better and kept getting better and kept getting better. So I knew going into the USA's prep, I was like, if I slam him with drugs, it's just not gonna, like, he's gonna outgrow his weight cap, and I can't have that happen. So it ended up being like 2 weeks out when I finally pushed him a little bit more, but still we didn't get to what we did in 2023. I think in 2023 it was more so like we were very hell bent on getting a pro card. So it was just like, we're going all or nothing on this. And I wasn't worried about a weight cap then. So it was just like, whatever happens, happens. And then again, situational awareness, like looking back, he probably didn't need all of those drugs just because he's a genetic freak. But like this prep, it was from a coaching aspect, like, okay, I see who I'm working with. I see what I'm working with. I know that I can't do it for the weight cap purposes. How Parker responds to drugs is not the same as everyone else. So I can leave things a little lower.
For sure. That's good. I mean, that's something, man. Like, you guys know this, but for the listeners, when it comes to that weight cap, people don't realize how influential androgens can be when it comes to
Yeah.
being able to make a weight cap. Because people think that just because you're in a deficit and you're, single digit body fat, that you'll just get to the weight cap. But they honestly underestimate, for one example, water retention of some of these
Mm-hmm.
compounds. Okay. But
Yep.
also, too,
Yep.
somebody like Parker, Taylor, if you didn't know better, Parker could practically still be fucking growing in a
Yep.
deficit with
For
his
sure.
drugs being high. And,
He does
and
every time.
exactly. Just for people that are newer coaches listening to this, because I know we have lots of coaches that do listen to this, just because you're in a division that requires more muscularity does not mean you need to use more drugs. And that's a common misconception, man, because if the muscularity is already there, most of the time you can get away with using less drugs, especially when there's a weight cap.
Yep, for sure. And another thing too is like I knew going into this prep how Parker responds to drugs, and obviously just going back to what I was talking about a few minutes ago, like Parker's 2023 prep with the drugs that we use, he only lost like 4 or 5 pounds during prep. Like he started prep at like 201 and was on stage at like 196, but obviously a completely different look, like probably lost 15, 20 pounds of fat. But it's just how lean he stays in the off season too, to where like, it just like, yes, he's a very, very, very much so hyper responder, but like also he stays so lean in the off season to where he doesn't have to use a ton. And then when we bring drugs in, like we can refeed often, and his body he trains hard as fuck. That's another thing is Parker trains harder than 98% of people. So like when you check all the boxes and then you train hard as fuck and then you put the drugs on top of it, like that's the response you get.
100%. Dude, and like people fucking don't understand, man. Like when we're in the gym, okay, being in the gym, it burns calories. Yeah, we all know that. Whatever. All right. But we're not in the gym to drive our deficit even more. We're in the gym to make sure we're retaining tissue, if not building tissue, like when we're in prep, and to make sure that we're giving our body a reason to change. Okay. But when your training intensity is so fucking high, and just like you were talking about, it makes, now correct me if I'm wrong, Parker, but I guarantee you trained harder this prep than you did in 2023. And I bet you still trained hard in 2023, but that also is an influencing factor of why this prep had more pros than cons to it. Is because one, you had the muscularity, you had the density, you trained hard as fuck. Your body was forced to recover from such a crazy stimulus that part of that adaptation was just ramping up your fat.
Yeah. And I think that I can give a shout out to Mike here too on this, because Mike Nassif does Parker's training. And I think that that's a big, big factor in like he wasn't necessarily like a lot heavier on stage this time, but had a lot more muscle. It's just because of the way Mike has done his training and how specified he is with things, that he's able to evenly distribute the muscle more throughout his body and bring a more open look and stuff like that without, I mean, he didn't pack on a shit ton more size. So yeah.
But when you take that approach to training where you're a sniper instead of a shotgun, everything changes.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Parker, when you're in, are you somebody where you prefer to be in prep because of just how focused you are on a goal, or do you really like the offense?
Just got done talking about that in the truck on the way back from the gym. I love being in prep just because obviously you're about to get lean as fuck, you're about to look good, all these, content, whatever. But this this go around is like a little bit different for me because I kind of want to keep, that flip or that switch that you have flip in prep. I want to keep that switch flipped, in the off season too. So like I'm still nailing every variable. It's still like I'm in prep, like literally timing, meals, water, walks, cardio. Just training is getting more, intense. So I kind of want to take that approach. So honestly, I like being in the off season more, even though it sucks fucking shoving food down and shit. I mean, off season is where you have a perfect, prep season.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, off season for sure.
100% for sure. I like that. I'm definitely I'm the opposite for how I like to feel mentally. But
Yeah,
when when I'm in prep, um, man, the hardest thing for me on prep is not being able to do the things with my family that I value doing. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what, like, every peak week is emotional for me when I'm not
yeah,
busy. Like, dude,
yeah,
when I can't get my steps in, I can't go on my walks, and my training isn't as intense, then I start to reflect. I'm like, oh man, usually this time of the summer, me and my family are doing this. I wish I could take my boat out and smoke a Marlboro Red with me and the boys. You know what I'm saying? And that's honestly the hardest part of prep for me is peak weeks because I get like emotional, just like fuck, dude. What if I don't get it at the show? It's like
yeah.
my
That's
family's
dude.
so, but I like being in
Yeah,
prep I like staying busy, mentally.
Dude, I'm the same as you, Nick. I thrive in prep, and honestly, why I'm a very piss poor bodybuilder outside of prep or just in general is because I don't do all seasons. Like the only time I've ever prepped was just, hey, I want to prep and jump into it. But the reason that I jumped into those preps is for the structure, for the monotony, for the
yeah,
hey, like last prep, I jumped into it because I was like, hey, there's some things in my life and about myself that I need to figure out. And I know that when I'm in prep, I'm so hyper focused on everything in my life and within, what makes me better that like whatever that is, I'm gonna figure it out. And I did that. Like prep was a very introspective time for me because I was so focused, because I was so routine and goal oriented, and like I just eliminated everything in my life that didn't matter. And honestly, a lot of things that I eliminated during that prep are still gone just because it's like I understood or I realized it, and that's kind of what I went into the prep was like, okay, I'm gonna go into this prep with the mindset that everything that doesn't matter and isn't a priority to me is gonna be put to the side, and we'll see what's a priority when I come out. And I did that, and a lot of priorities I didn't need in my life, or priorities I didn't need in my life anymore, and they weren't a priority anymore. So I'm the same way. I thrive in prep because of that type of
I
mental
totally agree.
aspect and the structure.
I like how you brought that up, man, because there's a lot of things in prep that I had to push away. And at the time, I didn't know
yeah,
why I had to push them away, but I quickly realized it. And it was even more apparent after prep for me. And a lot of those, for an example, the gym that I used to
mm,
train at, I had a lot of my local athletes training at this gym too. And I don't do anything in person, but while I was in prep, I somehow got it into my mind where I'm like, you know what? I think it's good if my athletes see me training at their gym every single day and I'm in prep and I'm leading by example. They need to see it in person. Okay. And I don't know where that came from in my mind, where it's like that had to be so important. But then I realized a lot of it was becoming a distraction. My meals were getting later and later because I'd be at the gym up to 6, 7 hours a day. I'd train and I'd be there doing work, talking to clients, taking calls, practically being a therapist to some of my clients, because I thought that's what needed to be done for them to be like, all right, my coach is going through prep right now. He's the leader of this team, and he's also helping me deal with these things over here. But I had to cut those distractions out, and I felt bad for it for a brief moment. But then I realized, like, yo, my team has got my back. They know that I can't have these distractions right now. So I went to a different place, and I started training there when there was no heat in the middle of winter. I was training at a gym with no heat. And I needed to get rid of those distractions literally for the sake of progress. And thank God that I did,
Yep.
because a lot of things happened within that time and after prep where I'm glad that I'm not around that crowd anymore, and business is better than it is ever. So, man,
Yep.
it's
For
something
sure.
gets prep brings something out of you that nothing else can bring out of you.
you
Hmm.
You
ain't
know?
fucking lying.
Yeah. I mean, fuck, dude. It can bring out the worst in you, but it can also bring out the best in you.
Yeah,
And
What
it depends
yeah,
on what you let it bring out. Like,
That's a good point.
yep.
Because, yeah, I mean, dude, it's just like it it literally depends on what you let it bring out, because we get the argument:
Hmm.
did the gun kill the person, or did the person kill the person? Who made the decision? Which
Yeah.
one was it? It was the
Yep.
fucking person. Okay.
Exactly.
In prep,
Yep.
Yeah.
who's making the decision to lash out at your significant other? It's you. It's not the fucking
Hmm.
drugs. Okay, you're the
Hmm.
one that has to be in that position, and you have to be introspective and self-aware of that stuff. So it's like you can let it bring out the best in you. You can let it continue to make you a growth-oriented person, or you can let it consume you, push your relationships away, push your business away, push your family away, because you think the only thing that matters in life is prep. The stage is always going to be there. Your family's not. So that's
Hmm.
a great way to put it, Taylor, for sure.
Yeah, those are good. There's a lot of things I put off pretty much in the back burner to last prep. Hell,
Like
I
what?
even put off, the biggest thing and the main thing for me was TikTok because I streamed on TikTok. That's where I made my money at. But honestly,
Really?
bro, yeah,
I didn't know that. No shit.
yeah,
You do have a fucking streamer face. That's hilarious. Okay,
no,
so I have a question about that, and then I'll let you finish. What were you streaming your workouts, or what were you streaming?
nah, I just streamed it. Pretty much anything like this right here. Like, say I could stream this and post it or go live on TikTok and just stream, just do whatever, honestly, and
Really?
battle and do all this shit. Yeah,
No shit, dude. I
but
literally I've never streamed. I've gone live, but I've never streamed like that.
yeah, dude, I started last year, last January, and I fucking hated it. And I just kept going with it, kept going, and months in, it was just like everything started clicking. I went from what 20,000 followers, and then shit. By the time I stopped last prep, I was at like 150. So I was like, it just became a distraction, honestly. So I just had to put it off to the side and worry about me as a person.
Right. And then also, did you replace? Because for people that don't know, listening, you're a coach under Taylor, correct?
Yep.
Right, right. So did you replace that time? And did you realize that you were putting more into coaching your clients or traveling to shows and stuff?
Yeah, to a sense, because I knew once he brung me on as an assistant coach, that's like something that I have to fulfill and, live up to. Like, it's under his name. I don't want his name to look fucking bad. He's my best friend. I'll never do that shit. So it's like I got to stay on top of my fucking game, as a team. So none of us looks bad. So yeah, 100%. I put every effort and every ounce of energy into, my clients and what we got going on over here.
For sure. I like that. And then honestly, I bet your clients they noticed it. If you're spending less
Yeah.
time over here and you're spending more time on the things that you still care deeply about, your clients, your passion, making sure that you and Taylor's name brand is improving and getting better. I mean, they noticed that too, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I told one of my closest friends, one of my best friends, that this year I'm trying to find somebody to come on under me as a coach. I'm like, you need to. I think these are the things that you need to do for me to even consider it. And he's been fucking showing me, and he listens to this podcast. It's Lance Hefner. You know Lance Taylor, and I'm like, dude, he's fucking showing me that. He invested into. He's been with Dom. He invested into the guy that does my email marketing on the back end with my newsletter and stuff like that. And I'm like, once you build that village, everybody hears it. It takes a village, but same thing with
Yep.
the coaching side, not just the competing side, but it takes a village to produce the outcomes that you want.
Yep.
100%.
People don't understand. I don't think people understand what goes into that either. Like that's a whole nother tangent as far as like the village it takes for coaches to succeed and stuff like that, but it's not at all as simple as people think it is, or yeah, as people think it is. I don't think.
Why do you think that is? Like, why do you think people think coaching is just us sitting on our ass all day, looking at a computer, sending voice messages?
Because I think that people think that that's what we do. People think that we just sit back and people just come to us and we just like fucking sit there at our computers and answer messages and make plans all day. And I don't know, man. I guess you would have to see the back end of it to understand, but people don't understand that there's lead generation that goes into it. There's social media content that goes into it. There is managing when you have assistant coaches, you're managing your team. It's an entire business. People don't understand that there's a business structure to it. Like, sure, the first 10, 15, 20 clients you coach, it's just fun. Like, it's just, you haven't learned enough to really turn it into a business yet. You're sitting there answering, and that's why you always see these people posting reels that only have 20 clients and like, if your coach isn't answering you in 24 hours, yeah, bro, because you only have 15 clients. Of course, you can sit there and answer everyone every time they text you. You don't have 80 clients messaging you all day, every day. Like, imagine if you had 80 girlfriends messaging you all day, every day. How would you feel? Like, it's the same thing. It's the same exact fucking aspect because your clients message you just as much as your girlfriend does, probably. So, and not only that, but you have to do the marketing. If you want to make a living off of this, you have to do the marketing. You have to do the lead generation. You have to interact with people on social media. You have to travel to shows. You have to do check-ins every day during peak week. I've been traveling. I've slept in my bed. Well, I haven't slept. I've slept in my bed for 3 hours in the past 13 days. And that was to take a nap when we got home from Vegas before I got back on the road and drove to Tampa. So it's like,
Damn.
yeah, so it's like people don't understand that aspect of it, and they don't understand, that we are human too. We need time for our families and stuff like that. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't, and I say that I probably thought the same thing at one point. Like, wow, oh, why is this person not answering me? And my very first like actual real coach was Matt Jansen, so it was even more like, why is he taking a couple days to answer me? Well, now he has a fucking multi-million, maybe billion-dollar company and a very successful coaching team, one of the best coaches in the industry. Like, and now from my position now, I can look back and be like, oh, okay, that's why he was taking so long to answer me, and I can't be mad at that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'll get off my soapbox, but
No, dude, it makes sense, bro. Because think about it too, especially if you're anything like us three, and there's every coach will say, I always prioritize health. Like I got to make sure that my people are healthy. But
I
Mhm.
hear that.
if you have 80 clients, and dude, I've had to read 15 fucking blood panels in like 3 days before. Okay.
Mhm.
So it's like, if your coach isn't responding to you in 24 hours, is your coach actually going through your fucking blood work? Is your
Or are they
coach
plugging in
actually
Chat GPT?
exactly? Is your coach actually getting on a call with somebody that knows more about one thing than you do to get a second opinion? You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
bro. That's exactly what I was about to say. Like sometimes something comes up in blood work that we need to do research on. Like
Dude,
we have the mentors and connects and everything else we have in order to be able to do research and get answers when we don't know what's going on or something may be going on. So, and that's what every good coach has that. No matter how good, like there's maybe a handful of people in this world that can read a blood panel and not have to ask you questions on it, no matter what happens. And that's
exactly.
like very few and far between.
And 100%, man. So it's like, I made the post about it today with Dom. He said,
Hmm.
I'll gladly take 24 hours to respond if that means I'm giving the response that they require instead of just a response. Okay. Now that was
Hmm.
me paraphrasing what he said, but it's like, dude, if I get somebody's blood work back and it takes me 2 days for me to get back to them about their blood work because I had to get on a call with somebody to ask them a question, to double check, get a second opinion without me having an already predetermined bias of like, okay, this person's on the brink of going into a prep or going into a blast. I want their
Yep.
blood work to be really good. I can just always or just bat my eye at it and put it in the back burner. Like, oh no, their CRP will be fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like those are the things that people don't see on the back end that we do. Okay, you can take
Hmm.
any fucking blood work panel, put it into Chat GBT, and it will tell you. I guarantee almost everything with that blood work panel. You can say whatever cycle they're on. You can say whatever phase they're in. You can send the photos to Chat GBT of that person. Chat
Hmm.
GPT will not know exactly what to do because they don't know the data trends. They don't know what you know. They don't know how that person responds to XYZ. And also, Chat GPT is still referencing the reference ranges. That's what it's still
Yep.
looking at. They're not looking
Yep.
at the reference ranges from a bodybuilding perspective and a performance perspective. They're looking at it from looking at it from general population. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So it's like people don't understand that like what goes into this, man. Like I've invested tens of thousands of fucking dollars into mentors and classes and courses and things through colleges even. Okay, when it comes to nutrition, just to make sure that I've got a fucking certification for the state of Wisconsin, so I don't get sued. Okay, people think that you can just hop online, write a meal plan, write a training plan, and put somebody on stage. No,
And they're a coach. Yeah. No,
and they're a
doesn't work
coach,
like that.
dude.
Yeah.
Did I want to pull my client out of prep for North Americans yesterday? Not
Fuck
really.
no.
You know what I'm saying? I was really fucking excited about it, going out to North Americans, seeing them compete. It was his first show under me. But guess what's more important to me is his success in this sport down the road. But also, I want him to have a good ass experience with competing, and I think that he can be a pro one day. Okay, so it's like you have to make those hard decisions as a coach. You're not just putting somebody on stage and saying, "Hey, we're throwing everything at you at once and just hoping the best turns out." But I think people really put coaches and our duties into a box when it comes to what they think we do on a daily basis. Hey, I may post 3 times a day in my feed, but that doesn't mean I'm actually on my phone posting. That doesn't mean I'm actually taking the time out of my day from check-ins to post something. Dude, I have apps that schedule that shit for me. Okay, because I
You can
delegate.
schedule posts, you can schedule stories, you can, yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's true.
So it's
Hell,
oh my gosh,
you
man, I
can
could talk
even
about
use one of my clients, work, for example. Dude, I didn't fucking his fucking DHEA was a 650, so I had to send that shit to fucking Taylor, and I'm like, bro, you got to do this, bro, because I ain't
dude,
that goddamn smart.
how long ago was that?
Yesterday.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did you guys end up figuring out kind of what was going on? Was it like a negative feedback loop or what was it?
Yeah, his reverse T3 is a 25 too, and like his cortisol is good. I think he's just in the early stages of adrenal fatigue, and he just for some reason also before he came to Parker, he was running some drugs that somebody who's new to running drugs should not have been running whatsoever, and his red blood cell count was through the roof and stuff like that. So I just he needed some stress management stuff. He needed some liver. He was also taking zero health supplements. So he just needs some more time. And I told Parker just give him some stress management protocols, give him some stuff to fix, to fix the high blood pressure, the high blood viscosity, like all of that stuff, and then give him about 8 to 10 weeks and rerun it and see what it looks like. And then, if it, because cortisol was fine, it was a 13. So it's like, it almost makes me wonder, was it like a lab error? Because a 13, unless it's like his DHEA is just shot up through the roof and his cortisol hasn't moved yet for some reason. I don't know. But, that's something that you kind of just got to give it time and see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's lab errors that happen out there when it comes to
Yeah,
Always. Yeah. Yeah.
DHEA, and especially there's errors with sex hormones.
And not only is there lab errors, there's user errors too. You don't
Yes.
know, people can say that they're doing everything correctly. They may not have done everything correctly.
Yeah.
very true.
Very true, man. And
Yeah.
there's user errors too. You tell somebody to, hey, make sure you get your blood work fasted, make sure you're very well hydrated before, and they think that it's a good idea that they can have a white monster before blood work, and then that can
Yeah,
affect your labs too with the caffeine. You know what I'm saying?
exactly. Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's a very nuanced. When you're reading blood work, you got to have every time somebody sends me a blood work panel, I've got like 20 questions that they have to answer
Yep. Me too.
before. Yeah, exactly. So you know what I'm talking about. It's like
Hmm.
it goes in for to anything with, hey, what was your sleep like the night before and the 3 nights before, how stressed were you the night before blood work, blah, 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 etc. And also it's like, it's also an opportunity for me when I ask about what health supplements they're taking. It's an opportunity for me to be like, okay, where have you been slacking on your end as an athlete? Because if you're listing health supplements that I don't have on there, or that you're listing no health supplements, or you're listing health supplements where it's on your supplement sheet, but the dose that you're saying that you're taking is completely wrong from the dose that I want you to take, then now
Yep.
that's something that I'm not going to get on their case and be like, hey, that's why it's affecting your blood work. No, I'm going to say, hey, I think we should retouch on how important it is for you to follow the supplement protocol based upon your individual response, aka your blood work. Because
Yeah, for sure.
if they're not putting any health supplements in there, that's an issue. Why aren't you listening?
Yep.
And especially if you're on
Exactly.
steroids.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, so
But
Parker, I want to ask you a question, dude.
Yeah,
This it probably hasn't even really soaked in yet, but how good does it feel to be a pro? What have you been feeling
every day I wake up and piss excellence now. No,
like?
I ain't gonna lie though. It's an amazing feeling, honestly, just to know, like, I have these random thoughts driving down the road, going to the gym, and I'm like, damn, bro, I got my pro card now. I left the gym not a pro, I came back a pro. So it's like, it's a good fucking feeling. I will say that.
100%. When you got off stage for prejudging, did you not want to believe it at first, or were you
we
like,
didn't
holy
know,
fuck,
bro.
that just happened? Really?
Prejudging was
No,
so fucked the way they
I
judged it.
was
We had no idea.
Let's
I
hear
was
about it.
so
Let me hear.
fucking nervous.
But we all right, so I'll just put it from I think Parker was so in the moment he might not have even realized how they were doing it. But from our perspective, they brought him out. Um, Dude, light heavies was stacked. There was 22 guys in light heavies, and it was definitely the best class at USA's, in my opinion. And that's like top to bottom. But so they brought him out. They, did their initial comparisons or whatever. They called him out, called out the first call out. Parker started outside, like third place spot, third or fourth, whatever you want to call it. And they went through like 2 rounds there, moved him to the center, went through 1 round there, moved him back out, went through another round.
Went through 2 on the outside.
Yeah, or went through 2 rounds, and then they were like, then they called top four off and said, we're going to rejudge this. So they called him off, and Parker spent a good amount of time in the center, but he didn't finish in the center there, like during that initial comparison. And then so they called him out. They did second, third call outs, whatever. Then they brought top four back out, and they had 2 guys in the center who were really good, like really fucking good. They were huge, and they were posing. They ended up doing like 4 rounds in the rejudge. And then the last round, they moved Parker. They moved the third and fourth place guy, or who was third and fourth place guys in. Or no, I'm sorry. They did 1 round, and then they brought Parker to the center. They moved the guy that was left center out. And then they did another round, and then they moved the guy that was split center with Parker out and brought the guy that was outside in. So we were like, bro, what the fuck is going on? Like, what are they doing? We had no idea. We were like, okay, so either they brought third and fourth place in to compare them, or they split center because they called them off after that. So I was just like, it's one of those things where we were so close, we didn't want to like get our hopes up too much yet because we didn't know which way it could have gone. But, I was also telling Mike, I was like, dude, like, he finished split center. So like, traditionally he's first or second right now, right? Like, so we thought that they were going to do a confirmation round at finals. That's how like crazy the top four was, and how close we thought it was. But we
Which
came
doesn't
back
really
and we
happen.
came.
They like
No,
rarely
bro, that's what I'm
ever do
saying. They
that.
never do
They
that.
almost did it too, because when we came back to do our routines, I was the last person to go on stage and do my routine. So I'm standing on the stairs, and then I guess, what is he, promoter, the guy with the microphone or whatever?
The MC.
Yeah, he had taken a step back to the curtain where I was and told the other guy, he was like, "Nah, they're not going to do it." So I'm assuming he was talking about, "Nah, they're not going to rejudge." So
Dude, I would be willing to bet that they even brought it down to individual routines before they picked, like
I
finals individual routines before they picked who the winner was.
I told
Wow.
you that shit too right before our finals went on.
Hmm.
That's how I knew that it was that close. They just have to. Like, there's, like, what else are you going to judge? I would
Yeah,
judge
Yeah,
a
exactly.
fucking routine.
yeah. So
Damn,
then,
dude.
I mean, they're not, technically, I don't think they're supposed to do that or aren't supposed to. But when it's that close, like you got to do something, and they didn't do a confirmation round. So I really, with what Parker told me about them, saying they're not going to do it, whatever, and kind of picking the winner there on the fly, I think they might have done that, and it just, they lined them up on the diagonal, and then I was just like, oh my God, I didn't even want to look up. I was like, oh fuck, what's going to happen? Then they got down to top two, and Parker was still left, and I was like, okay, well, 1 and 2 is whoever split center after prejudging, and yeah, it was wild.
Dude, that's nuts, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's crazy. I was looking at because wait, they had no live stream for USA's, which was really weird.
No.
I know, bro.
So because
Muscle
I was,
contest, bro. They rate people. A
yeah,
Bro,
dude,
backstage pass is $600.
what the
eh,
fuck? Let's talk about it, dude.
did you see the pro card?
Bro, it was
They
printed on a piece of fucking paper.
they
Yeah.
didn't even give us a shirt.
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard that the shirts weren't even ordered.
No, bro.
Bro, the pro cards literally looked like it was the picture of the blue on some poster board because there was the white border. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
it
that's
was.
some
That's what it was. It was
shit.
that. It was that. That's exactly what it
Oh,
was.
muscle
Like
contest is fucked, man.
I'm getting a copy of it made. Like I'm gonna remake a copy of it so that I can have one, he can have one, and hang it up in my office. And I guarantee you my copy's gonna look better than their original does.
Yeah, and at least you'll do the decency of cutting off the white border or the edge
Yeah,
like
no
Yeah,
nobody
shit.
fucking did.
exactly.
Dude,
Exactly.
that's nuts. And I hate that too, man, because muscle contests, they're known to do shit like that. But it's like, dude, that doesn't push our sport any further
No,
to improving it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no.
we
Mm-mm.
spend tens of thousands of dollars on prep. Okay. We put our families through hell. The least you can do is give you a fucking shirt and a bag of goodies and pre-workout
Yeah,
samples.
yeah. Do
Dude,
the shit you have to do.
me as a coach, like Parker covered, the Airbnb, the rental car, like all of that shit. And me, Brandon, and my girlfriend's tickets was $1,236
For the show.
for the show. I mean, we got
1200.
VIP, but still, regardless.
Dog,
Yeah,
are
bro.
you
Twelve
kidding
hundred
me?
and thirty-six dollars. Yep. And that's not
There,
including food while you're there, and everything that you have to do, and gym.
Gym
day
fees.
passes and shit like that.
And on top of that, dude, that's bro. If you think about it, NPC Nationals is not even that much for tickets.
No, fuck no, fuck no. The NBC Nationals backstage pass is like 250 or 300, like not even
Yeah,
fifty
it was
percent of
300.
what muscle contest is.
I
It was
don't
300,
even think
300
the
last year.
registration. How much is the registration there?
Oh, last year at NPC Nationals, I had I had two people in it. I didn't even ask them how much registration was, but it's probably less than muscle contest.
Yeah, it was. I paid $400.
Jesus Christ, bro. Dude, that is
Yeah,
so
it's
fucked.
crazy,
Now,
bro.
talk about entitlement. Dude, we're in a fucking sport where we spend, dude, I guarantee, think about, I know for a fact, man, bodybuilders spend, bro, I was in hockey when I was growing up, okay? And I wasn't the fucking best at it, but all my buddies had the best everything with hockey, best equipment. Hockey families dished out money, okay? Bodybuilders times 100, I guarantee it, okay?
Yeah.
Some of these promoters are on their high horse and they're so fucking entitled that they feel like it's a privilege for you to enter my show. You better pay anything. You better miss paying rent to come to my fucking show. Dude, I don't understand that. It does not make sense to me. Some of these people, there's a guy that I won't mention his name, but I may be prepping him for NPC Nationals and for heavyweights. He has two jobs. One job he is a waiter. The other job is he is an extra on a TV show. That's what he relies on to pay for to make a living. Okay, and he
Mhm.
just fucking loves bodybuilding. All right, and it just doesn't make sense to me that these people have the fucking audacity to be like, yeah, we're gonna charge $600 for a backstage pass. We're gonna charge
Yeah.
$400 to register. Dude, some people can't even fucking pay rent. It annoys the shit out of me. Dre, one of my clients, dude, when he was in the military, he's waiting on almost full disability from his injuries from the military, and that prohibits him from searching for certain jobs. Okay, and so that also prohibits from making X amount of dollars. Otherwise, he doesn't get his disability. I mean, it's not muscle contests. It's not their responsibility to understand everybody's certain life circumstances. But then again, be a good fucking human and have some empathy. It pisses me
Everyone's so
off,
money
dude.
driven, bro.
So
Everyone's so
money
money
driven.
driven. Yeah.
Dog, I'm coaching a pro. Nobody, I mean, unless like very few people where I'll actually like really help them out when it comes to the rates of coaching.
Mhm.
I'm coaching a pro right now for less than half or more, excuse me, more than half of my normal rate because he's a good fucking dude.
Mhm.
And I really think he can make to the Olympia in 2026.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, bro.
He's a diesel mechanic, but he got dealt with a shitty hand, and maybe he doesn't have the best money skills. Okay, but bro, we're in a sport where we have to. We're in a sport where we are entitled to what we do. We do. It's our job or it's our decision to spend the money on the things that require us to get to where we want to go, and it makes it a lot fucking harder when we have people that literally steal from us just to walk on stage for
Yeah.
2 minutes total.
Literally.
Fuck, dude, that pisses me
It's
off.
like I tell some people who don't like clients who I know just don't have a ton of potential in the sport. Like if you're broke and you're like, don't get me wrong, bodybuilding gets a lot of people out of a lot of dark shit in their life. It
For
changes
sure.
their life, et cetera, et cetera. I love that. However, if you're dead ass broke and you're worried about competing more than you are taking care of yourself and your family, and you don't have the potential to actually be something one day in life, I'm just like, bro, maybe this isn't for you. Like
I agree.
I'm more than happy with not taking your money and telling you that you should just not bodybuild because you need to take care of your livelihood.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna
I
go run a piss real quick, boys.
Yeah, you're good,
All
man.
right.
I've had conversations with people sometimes, when it comes to bodybuilding. Sometimes it's the people that Brandon, what the fuck? Brandon, where are you guys right now? Oh, you can't hear me because Taylor's got AirPods in.
He got the headphones in.
Yep. I've had conversations with people, man. Some people they've had really good potential for bodybuilding to go pro to whatever, and some people that they haven't had that potential, but they just love bodybuilding for bodybuilding. Hey, buddy.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
bro. Taylor, you got a beard all of a sudden. What the fuck, man?
No, I started taking some heavy drugs and it just fucking did it, you know?
That's the only way to do it.
What's going on, boys? You doing well?
I'm doing great, man.
Yeah.
Where are you at right now?
I'm in Tampa.
Oh shit, that's right. Because for Tampa Pro tomorrow.
Yep. So I came out here. I have a couple clients. Taylor's guy, Mark, and then Matt Busardo has a really badass bikini girl for some competitor, natural, wicked. And yeah, we did some content today. I've literally been in the background here, just cranking out the edits. You know how it is. And yeah, next week is Texas.
Dude, I know.
Hell yeah.
I was gonna try to make. I would be in Tampa right now. I was gonna try to make it out, but I have a wedding tomorrow that I already RSVP to.
Oh, you're gonna have way more fun, bro.
Yeah, but
That'll
dude,
be really good, dude.
wait.
Oh,
Taylor's got Mark. Is Mark a pro? Which Mark am I thinking about?
No.
No, he's an amateur. He's doing the amateur show.
Oh, okay, got it. That makes sense. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
Oh.
Fuck, dude. I'm making a reel out of that.
God damn it. No, it'll be good. If you should come to Texas though, bro. Texas is gonna be wicked.
That's next weekend.
Yeah. Dallas.
I can't. I'm heading up north with my family. I bought a boat about a month ago, and I'm taking my parents out. And
Good, bro.
I know.
You're a good man, Nick. You have to do that kind of shit. It's important.
Hell yeah, brother. That's what I missed, man. And it's like my dad sold his boat when I was getting born because
Sure.
kids are expensive, and
Oh, yeah.
hasn't bought one since. You know, I've taken him out of my musky boat, but I'm like, it's time for me to get an actual like better speed boat and have him relax.
That's awesome, bro. I'm sure I'll see you at North Americans and at the Olympia. So
Bro,
we'll
I was going to be at North Americans, but we were talking about this on the podcast. I made the decision to pull one of my clients out from some bad blood work.
oh fuck. Good for you though, bro. That's very respectable. You know, a lot of guys won't do it, and you should. It's like these are people's lives we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So-
tell him, Brandon.
Straight up.
Oh,
Straight
but
up.
I'll be at the Olympia for sure. You know that. I'll be there for like 8 days.
Yeah, same, bro. I think I get in, it's a Sunday, and then I leave that following Monday. So
Oh yeah.
it's going to be a long one.
For sure.
Hey, shout out. We should shout out Brandon to all the, because I mean, we have a good amount of people watching this shit now. If you guys are at any of these shows, like seriously, Brandon's the best.
I know a thing or two. That's all.
You guys are going to
tell,
see.
tell everybody what you do.
So, fun fact, guys, I actually got into this industry as a competitor back in the day, and then I started coaching. And about 2 years ago, I picked up the camera, had no intention of making anything with it, and it blew my coaching business out of the water. I do shoots kind of leading into shows, whether it's like your final pump up or like BTS. I do post show shoots, and it just so happens that I have a little bit of a gift on speed and efficiency. So, kind of leading into the shows, a lot of these coaches like to bring me out to them, and you know, we get stuff out quickly. That way, you know, we build hype, we build anticipation, and post show, you got plenty of stuff to post quickly, which matters, right? No one cares about your event next week. They care about it now. They care about it yesterday. So,
100%, dude. That's a great way to put it, man. I've known Brandon for years now, and I hired him this year for Junior Nats, and it was awesome, man. By the time he left the Airbnb, hour and a half later, he had all the photos for us. And you guys listening, what Brandon said, he'll do a full end or the full spectrum of content creation for you, so you don't gotta depend on, you know, your phone in setting up a tripod just to get a semi decent photo, as if you're coaching the person. You know, Brandon captures things that you wouldn't even expect him to capture. He's the best at what he does, man. It's fucking amazing.
I appreciate
Bro,
you, man.
Wait till you guys see this YouTube documentary that he made for me and Parker.
I finished it last night. It's pretty good.
Bro, not even 72 hours after the show is done, and he has an entire fucking 31-minute YouTube video made.
That's
and
crazy.
edited. It's immaculate, bro. Like, I cried my eyes out watching it this morning.
Yeah, dude. Me and Taylor were texting last night, and he just randomly changed his topic, and he's like, "Bro, I'm crying right now from this documentary Brandon made," and I'm like, "Holy shit!"
I was really happy with how it turned out. Honestly, the 3 days for me, I was kind of like, "Fuck, I'm taking too long," and I was losing it. But then it was like, okay, well, I really want to put my heart and soul into this one because, I mean, Parker, your story is incredible, and just your guys' relationship so special. It needed that extra attention to detail, you know. So really happy with how that turned out.
I'm super happy how it turned out. It was amazing. That shit made me cry twice. I sent it to my brother, and he cried twice. I was like, damn.
I'm not emotional, and while I was editing, I got choked up once or twice. So we all need some Arimidex or some Letrozole. That's for damn sure. Well, boys, enjoy the rest of your podcast. I got to get back to work here. Thank you for the shout out. All love to all of you.
Dude, Parker, do you have your own YouTube?
I don't, but I've actually been contemplating that. I want to start, I want to start getting, vlogging and stuff like that. Just day in the life, just every day, just vlog.
I think you should. Taylor, should we? Oh no, Taylor, because you have a YouTube channel, don't you?
Hmm.
Should we also post that on the Limitless channel?
I don't think it would be a bad idea because we have, what, 70, 80 subscribers on here now?
If not more, dude. Let me take a look.
Yeah, I told Parker he needs to get like crazy on. I mean, he's had some big guys, big name guys ask him to train. But Derek Lunsford fucking hit him up on Instagram. Jordan Hutchinson wants to train with him. I was like, dude, you need to take advantage of those opportunities and get content out of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Limitless Evolution. 101 subscribers and 4 videos,
Hell yeah,
baby. Let's
go,
go.
bro.
That's fit, bro.
101 subscribers and 4 videos?
Yeah.
That's
That's
wild.
that's lit.
Bro, that's so funny. 12 Dom video has almost 600 views. That's fucking sick.
Damn, that's amazing, actually.
That's so cool. This reminded me, man. I don't even remember what we were talking about before, but it doesn't matter. Parker, it's completely up to you. But do you want to say anything about, kind of how you got into bodybuilding and your upbringing and kind of your story? You don't have to say too much. I don't want you to cry right now, man. But it's up to you, bro.
I won't say too much just because, that YouTube video is about to drop and I kind of want to leave the hype for that. But, or, the emotions for that. But honestly,
Pussy.
I'll come back down. All right, fuck it. I'll do it anyways because honestly, it'll probably drop, right?
No,
That
we're
YouTube
gonna put the podcast out before the YouTube video's out. Don't say all of it. Just let people watch the YouTube video because it's way far more emotional and storytelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just brush by the stuff that's like
Okay.
that you really want to capture people's attention.
So let's see. I joined. So I started lifting shit when I was 16 years old probably. But it was the lifting that you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You're going to the gym for 7 hours, fucking just bullshitting around, just whatever. Come in 2017, my brother Aaron, we're 13 months apart, so we're pretty close. Literally do everything together. Whatever he does, I do. Whatever I do, he does. But he left for boot camp in the Marine Corps 2017, and I'll be honest, like he was the one person I had to talk to about any and everything. Literally, just whatever. You know how it is if you got a brother that close to you. But when he left, it was like, fuck, dude. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know who to talk to. Like, I was going through some shit at the time and some mental shit. I just, and when he left, I was like, just didn't know what to do. So, I ended up basically just drinking, partying, getting in fights, just doing dumbass shit. And honestly, I probably shouldn't be here at all right now. And then come in 2018, I joined the Marine Corps. And when I joined the Marine Corps, I kind of felt like everything went downhill to a sense, a couple of years in the Marine Corps. It just got worse. Mentally, I had to see a therapist while I was in the Marine Corps. At that time, I tried to block it away and say, like, nothing's wrong with me, bro. I'm good. Then Taylor just texted me out of the blue and was like, hey, let me coach you. So I was like, all right, whatever. I mean, he's my best friend, so fuck it. What do I got to lose? Nothing. So I started bodybuilding then, and we were prepping for my first show ever. And honestly, starting bodybuilding, you notice a change in how, for me, for example, the mental spot that I was in, I could start seeing a slow change while I started bodybuilding as, mentally. And after I competed, things got a little worse, whatever. Yeah, that's pretty much it, honestly. But I just kind of used all that shit that I had in the past. I kind of I pick and choose what I want to use fuel to. Like, if somebody pisses me off one day, I'm going to use that. I swear to God, I don't care. I'm going to use that for my training session in a couple hours or whatever. But that, and I just wanted to make a name out of myself. And that's what I'm going to continue to do until I die. So, yeah. And then I will say, like I told him and told everybody else, last prep was the prep that fucking literally 360'd my whole life around. And I have no fucking clue what it was. I don't know. But I couldn't be more grateful and thankful that prep changed me as a person. Started going to church, started going to, I went to therapy every week, reading the Bible every morning. I was praying, and I had something to fucking gun for, and obviously it was a pro card, and yeah, that's why I do it now. My brother always told me, maybe this is the reason why you're here is to bodybuild. So I kind of use that.
And it's funny too, like I mentioned this earlier, that bodybuilding pulls people out of a dark place, and like it's easy for us to say the people who have never been in that spot, and bodybuilding didn't do that for us. Like me, for example, I've always just bodybuilded for fun. Like I did this because I loved it. Coaching is what has brought a passion out for me, and gotten me to like be someone that I didn't think I was going to be, or never thought that I could be, success wise, financially, everything. Like I'm forever grateful. But obviously bodybuilding led up to the coaching. But it's easy for people to sit back and say, this shit's so stupid. Why do people ruin years of their lives? Why do people fucking, spend all this money on this for what, a plastic trophy? But like, bodybuilding at its core can develop you into a very, very, very successful, self-disciplined, driven person. And, it's easy to say, oh, well, you're doing all of these things that are taking years off of your life. Well, yeah, well, maybe what if I hadn't have started doing those things, then I would already not be here, right?
Yeah.
I know for a fact
maybe
my
by
life would have been shorter.
yeah, like maybe bodybuilding saved me 30 years of my life instead of taking off 3. Like it's easy for us to.
It's the craziest thing about it too, and it's super fucking crazy for me to even say this, but I felt like that was me. Like when I first started competing, I was just like, okay, like it was fun, like stepping on stage, going through this prep, showing your body off, whatever, it was fun. But it was last prep that everything in my entire life, ever since the first day I stepped on fucking stage, everything just connected, and it was like, oh shit, like you take a step back and see where you were fucking 3 years ago, and you look at yourself now, and you're like, look at the
That's
fucking
why that
progress you
happened.
made. Yeah, everything that you went through in life, it's for a reason. You just have to find that fucking reason.
Hmm.
I totally
And
agree.
I think too that like we said this in the YouTube video that's coming out that Brandon made, but like this prep just felt different, and I don't know how to explain it. Like from a coach's perspective and from Parker as an athlete's perspective, it just felt different. Like we were doing all of these things leading up to the show. In the back of our mind, like we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know if Parker was going to turn pro. Shit, like even up until fucking his name was called at finals, we didn't know if he was going to turn pro or not. But we just did the things as if we already knew that he was going to be pro. And I genuinely think we spoke it into existence. And I genuinely think that God made that feeling come into our hearts, and made us just do and think and act, and made Parker the person that he is in order to get him to where he needed to be, and use this as kind of a launch pad for the rest of his life, the rest of his career, the rest of his success. Because, again, like maybe even 2 years ago at USA's, we really thought he was going to go pro 2 years ago at USA's, and he didn't. But why is that? Okay,
Yeah.
well, maybe God was saying he wasn't ready. You're not ready. And a lot of people will give up on it before it's way, way, way way too soon is what I'm trying to say. You're not always like, maybe it's just not your time, and that's perfectly fine. Maybe never is your time, but like you have to keep going through it, and keep fucking pushing in order to be able to realize that.
There's
And the funny thing real quick about that too is the day, you remember the day that everything clicked is when I fucking texted you. I texted him in my first prep for my regional show, probably fucking, we had just started prep. I was probably like four weeks into prep. That I started noticing everything was fucking clicking. My mental was straight, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Like I was starting to fucking feel good. I was just like, you know what? I'm locked the fuck in. Like I've never been this locked in before. And I shot him a message, and I was like, look, bro, are you locked in? Like that as a best friend, are you locked in? Because I'm fucking locked in. Let's do it. So
100%. I love that, man. And that's like, I mean, that's a testament to like what we've been saying in this podcast. Bodybuilding does bring a lot of amazing things out of us and out of our athletes. Sometimes bodybuilding can be the catalyst of somebody going down a bad hole in their life, or down a bad rabbit hole in their life, but sometimes it's actually the catalyst that pulls them out of that hole. For instance, I mean, this past week I had a client of mine, he's in the off season, was dealing with some stuff and was dealing with some relationship stuff that ended up not going so well. On his check-in this week, he ended up telling me that, he ended up seeing a therapist for it, and I was like, hey man, because I've got my own story with therapy, and I'm a very big advocate for it. And And he also, at that moment, he was like, you know what? I think you're right, because it happened to be, our conversation made him realize this. He's like, you know what? This today happened to be the 5th year anniversary that my mom passed away. And that's the same day that I had my first therapy session. And he realized that it was getting put off. And it happened to be upon that day where he realized, like, you know what? I need to give myself to something else, to somebody else, but also to a higher power, you know?
Yeah.
And his relationship issues stemmed from just the byproduct of bodybuilding, which also is our decision and our choice. But that it's just another sign that God was like, you know what? That relationship was not meant to be for you at this time. And you were meant to see this therapist on this day that your mom passed away 5 years ago, you know. And I think it's very powerful, and things never happen for a reason. I'm a huge believer, man, and things are never a coincidence. You know, I'm a huge believer in the energy that we put out into this world is the energy that we attract, and bodybuilding is something that showed me that full force. You know, I almost, back in college, I was almost facing some hefty jail time for some shit that I never even was involved in. It was things, I was with the wrong people, I was with the wrong crowd, and it was really scared the fuck out of me. And at this time, I was like you guys, I was bodybuilding because I just fucking loved picking shit up and putting it down, you know. And at that time, the owner of the Metroflex gym that I was training at, he was a pastor, and you wouldn't have ever guessed he was a Marine. He had face tattoos, neck tattoos. To this day, I owe that man my life. I don't owe bodybuilding my life, which I thought that I owed bodybuilding my life for years, but I owed that man my life for sure. And this guy, dude, he was the pastor for a biker gang in Wisconsin and in the Midwest, like a biker gang where I'm saying it's fucking ex-cons, it's felons, it's murderers, it's crazy. And he's a pastor for some of the roughest people I've ever seen, you know. And he was that one person I was like, hey man, this gym is your therapy. This gym is your church, okay? Because we were having sessions in that church. That he told me this before he opened up his building for his church. It's like, I would bring pews into this church. I would move the equipment, and I would preach in the gym to my congregation. And I'm like, holy shit, like that's powerful right there, you know. And then it's like, it's just being introduced to people like that and having enough ability to self-reflect on, damn, this happened in my life, and this is where I'm at now. And you start to look back at where those things clicked. Sometimes, I mean, like you felt it right away when it started to click, Parker. You know, some people that doesn't happen until years down the road. But so, I mean, dude, that's great. That's great for you that you noticed it. And you're like, you know what? This is my second chance, bro. I better not fuck this shit up. And I'm noticing it right now. I better not shove this emotion down.
The craziest thing is you can't shove that shit down. You got to figure out what it is and what you got to do. I mean, I've always neglected, you know, I'm not saying that I fucking hate God. Obviously I don't, but I've always neglected trying to get closer to him or going to therapy. Therapy is like the main reason or the main thing that I neglected, because I just like, you know, I don't need somebody to tell me what I already know. It's, you know, it's good.
I agree.
It definitely helps.
I was going to ask if earlier, before you answered my question, I was going to ask if you have a certain faith base. Yeah.
Yeah.
For
just,
sure.
Look, Christian, I just want to, my main thing is just get closer to God in general, honestly, just because it's amazing. It's amazing what he can do.
I totally agree, man. You start to realize completely different perspective of life when you realize that there's something at work that you do not understand. And I'll tell you what, man, and this is something that even my parents disagree with me on, but there's something at work that the Bible it never breaks down. There's something at work that the Bible that's not written in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? There's something omnipresent out there that is so powerful that connects us as humans, as men and women of Christ. It doesn't matter if your God is a different name of a God in another religion or if it's Christianity. You know what I'm saying? There's something out there, something that cannot be explained. The Bible can't explain it. Otherwise, we'd have all the answers to everything. The Bible is I look at the Bible as a guide to how to live your life, to find that heaven within. You know, to find why you are on earth.
That's a stepping stone right there. Yeah.
100%, bro. 100%. But anyway, we've been recording for about an hour and 18 minutes. Now, we discussed we were going to do a part of a Q&A. for this podcast. Parker, you obviously you're on the podcast. I don't want to kick you off for the Q&A, so I want you to join.
No, you're good. Yeah.
Okay, no, like perfect. I'm like, dude, unless you have something busy to do, I think it'd be great if you join the Q&A. So we have a bunch of questions that me and Taylor didn't get to from our first episode. So I'm going to pull those up here. Man, episode 5, we went fucking deep.
Yeah, bro, that was sick.
That was fucking lit, bro.
Yeah, it was good.
You want me to stop this recording and start a new one for the Q&A so it's easier to edit?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll cut this one. I'll end this one.